We're going to put these brushes through their paces today.
Spiky bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Baer. Like I said, it's time to put Slow Fuse Gaming's brushes through their paces today. Now, some of these sets of brushes I've been using for several months now. Some I just got in. So we're going to concentrate more on Slow's deck cord brushes, which are very small sizes. I think great for a lot of detail work and a lot of areas that folks out there, especially newer hobbyists, have a lot of trouble with. Is getting in there and getting in tight, all that detail work. It's very hard to do. But with these brushes, they're might give you that edge in that regard, and definitely not going to break the bank at $15 some odd each for sure. So here they are, the fabled lineup of brushes from Slow Fuse Gaming, slowfusegaming.com. Of course, we've already covered that, but just in case. So he's got 3 different sets here, and one of them actually isn't for sale on his site, so don't hold that one against me. I actually got them from him at Adepticon, the long Wicks right here, and I'll show you more why they're called that, I think. I'm no brushologist, I know what works, and I like what works, so that I can tell you, conversationally, of course. Now, there's the long Wicks, and then the utility brushes, which are synthetic that we talked about. These are great. Been using them for, I would say at least 2 months now, give or take. Just got these deck cords in from him. Used a couple of them live on stream, but haven't had too much crazy experience with them. But so far, I definitely like them. They're very easy to use. They're springy. They hold a lot of paint and liquid. I did a couple of light washes with them, so these we're probably going to try out the most here today because I just haven't used them as much. And then of course there is his brush goop, or Jen's brush goop, the other half of Slow Fuse Gaming. This is a 1 ounce container. I've had it for, I don't know, about 6 months or so, and well, that's about how much I got left. So one of these will probably, depending on how much you paint, and sometimes I forget to clean my brushes, so take that for what it is. I would probably just buy the bigger one if you paint a whole lot. I know this probably isn't going to last me a full year. Now, all of these brushes are, for the most part, pretty affordable. I think the synthetics, like you're going to see, are about $20, $22 for the set. The long Wicks, I think, like I said, these aren't for sale yet. They will be eventually for sale, but I think they were around 30 when I got them from Adepticon. And the deck cords are out, again, very similar to this, just smaller size, synthetic sable. These are around $30, $32. So overall, to the price you would pay for one brush, which we are going to compare these to some of the brushes like we did 2 years ago when G-Dub came out with their Artificer, and of course everybody knows about Winsor and Newton brushes. We're going to compare and contrast those as best we can as well. So first up, let's get these bad boys out of their case here. So far, out of the deck cords, my favorite 2 brushes are the number 2 and the number 1. But I already cleaned those because, like I said, we used them live on stream. But real quick, whenever you get new brushes, it's important to wash them. Now, whether you use Slow Fuse Gentastic's Drunken Brush Glue, or you use your Master's brush cleaner, which a lot of folks already have from Amazon. Now, to clean the brushes, there's a couple different ways to do it. From what I understand, it's very important to get the soap actually up underneath clamps here, which are called ferrules. That's where you're going to have issues if you get dirt or you get dried paint down in there, because what's going to happen is it's going to put pressure right here, and then it's going to cause your hairs to split, and that's generally kind of what happens with things that aren't cleaned well. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of soap, making sure I push down, I get up in there, but then you can clean the rest of the bristles just like you would clean your hair. Literally, that's why Jen invented this, because she's just like, wait, brushes are just like hair? I know how to clean hair. And the Drunken Brush Cube was born. So you can kind of put a crease in your hand and kind of pull this and twirl it and kind of keep the shape if you want. I just prefer just to kind of loosely twist it between my fingertips. May or may not be a good idea, but it seems to have worked for me for the past 6 to 8 months using this stuff. So that's how you clean your brush. And you would do the same thing at the end of every one of your paint sections too. So it's very easy to do. You just gotta get in the habit of actually doing it and remembering to do it. Now, since we're on the Drunken Brush Goop, I literally don't even want to open this, but we're going to open this. So to compare and contrast between these two great products, this isn't even 10 bucks. I think this is 15 bucks from Amazon. I could be wrong. Somebody fact check me on that. This stuff's a very hard kind of, you definitely can tell it's, you know, manufactured, comes out of a big batch kind of material. It's always done well for me in the past, but when I got this stuff, it just blows away anything that this brush cleaner has done for me in the past 10 years. Now, I have some sample brushes here that I have cleaned and managed to save. That you might notice this is like the Games Workshop brush yearbook right here, all except for the red handle ones, which are for the 90s, which I just for the life of me don't have any of them left. So you've got, in order of release, I guess the blue handled, the black handled, and this new kind of composite plastic stamped brush right here. Now you can see where I was able to save some of the bristles here. I did not, this was a dry brush, so I abused the crap out of it back in the day. It wasn't able to save a lot of the bristles up here. Still got a little bit of paint on it, but back here where it didn't wear as much, was able to save it. But down in here where dirt and dried paint had gotten down in the ferrules, you can see, not able to save it as much, so it's split. You know, it's a dry brush, but we save it because it still works, believe it or not. All these years later, 15 some odd years, it still works. So that just kind of gives you an idea to reinforce what I was saying about don't let stuff get down in here. If I had this material, this cleaner, you know, the whole time and been using it the whole time, my brush would still look like this middle band right here. Now, if you have a particularly resilient brush, a good idea is to lather it up with a little bit of water and get in there and leave the material on it overnight and then rinse it out and repeat that as many times as you're comfortable with. And that's how I was actually able to save some of the older brushes here. So first up, we have the OG Artificer layer brush. Came out in 2016. This is the exact brush that you probably see in a lot of pictures and the comparison video that we did around the same time. And then here, I can't remember if it was this number one. I had a couple of different ones. There was the longer bristle brush. So Winsor Newton has two different ones. They have a miniature and they have a sable round. And I can't remember which one we used in the comparison video, but here they are both still here. Like I said, still trucking. So we got the bomb wicks, the long wicks rather. These are the longer brushes that are on par with the stuff like the Artificer layer brush and the miniature brush from Winsor Newton. But the bristles themselves aren't quite as long on the Winsor Newton, or on the miniature brush, but on the normal brush here, the Series 7, they're a little bit longer. And I prefer a longer bristle, so that's kind of why I stopped using this one here. So this has kind of been my wheelhouse over the past couple of months since I got these new ones from Slow Fuse. And you can see they're still hanging in there and everything. We're going to use some of the deck cord ones today, which are a little bit smaller. This is a size 1, size 2. And then we've got his new brushes today, which I was just talking about. I really haven't put them through the paces. So that is going to be our thing today. So we got our number 1, which is great for detail work, and our number 0 as well right here. And these are brand new. They are on Slow's site. You can check them out over there. I think it's $32 for the set. They are synthetic sables, but here's the thing. As you're about to see, they tend to hold a point and work very well on small detail. So here's the latest flesh out from Shadespar, which well, it's been a little bit of work to get him all painted up, but now we're down to the final details. We're going to use these new deck cords. We're going to start with doing a little bit of highlighting here with our Menoth white for our bone, and all this is we're just going to go over the top of some of this claws and stuff here, which you can see this is definitely holding the shape very well. We're going in here perpendicular. It's almost like cheater painting, but I'm okay with it. And we're just getting tops of the details and very careful to rinse out the brushes frequently as possible just to keep prolong their life, but also to keep the material, you know, the paint thin on the brush itself. Go in there and give it a coat. And then we have to flip it around and get from underneath where we can get that nice. So I think that worked very, very well. I am super happy with this so far. You can see where I come in and do freehand. It's holding its shape very well. Nice and springy, holds material, rinses out well. I forget, as I'm using these, I definitely forget that it's a synthetic, which is kind of remarkable. But next up is, we're going to see how some of this does on metal. We got our same number 1 brush, and I didn't realize till I was painting off camera there that there was actually a loose bristle in there, so I actually just took a lot of times, oh, well, it just go off the X-Acto. But what you can do is you can just kind of come in, pull it back, and cut it off down at the bottom of the ferrule with your X-Acto blade. Sometimes these things aren't exact when they take the hairs and clamp them into there. You know, sometimes it just doesn't sit right, or something's a little too big, or something like that, and it becomes elongated or kind of off center, and then you have that hair there. You know, sometimes you'll see it off the corner of your eye, and sometimes you won't. But it doesn't mean there's a defect in a brush or anything. Fixable, but you can see here now everything just fine. You probably noticed it before I did, because it turns out with a video camera you can see things that are a little bit smaller than with the naked eye. So these metals are applying very easily here. And let's put the zero brush through its paces for just a little bit. I got some mixed up here in the palette. Kind of some highlight colors for all of the copper here. Gonna pull it right on the edge, and it definitely holds its shape as well, very cleanly. Probably just go a little. So far, so good with this. Let's try it with some white. It definitely soaks up a lot of paint on the palette here as I'm keeping it a little watery. You can see it on the bristle right there. Definitely holding a lot of paint. Won't have to go back quite as much. Pretty happy with this. Just straight Menoth white. I mean, you can really use any. Since we're just doing the same thing we just did right there. Oh, and since we're working with the smaller number 1 brush, get in there and get the eyeball from the side. Remember how we do eyes? We're just going to the very top. There, good, definitely. Now it's time to do a couple of washes in a glaze. And what I like about the synthetics, the bigger utility brushes here, is that you can just kind of grab and throw stuff in here and really abuse these brushes. Kind of no big deal. They spring back, they're very resilient, but they didn't have that point, which is what the deck cords are, which I think is a great kind of twofer type product. So we're gonna throw a little bit of our hobby ketchup here and make a nice thin glaze. Now, should I be using these bristles in this manner? No, probably not, but they're synthetics and they're made to be abused, and as long as you wash them, they will probably have a pretty decent life. I mean, these look brand new, and I've been using them for about, we'll go with like 3 months or so now on these. So definitely had these for a while. Now, normally I'd be doing like crazy washes. You probably saw me using this particular brush right here for all of our Star Wars stuff, doing all the Legion and things. And this is great because it's a nice wedge brush, but that isn't gonna work on something like this Bloodletter, unless we were doing the whole, or excuse me, this Fleshhound, unless we're doing the whole like body of it. But we're not. We're doing some directional washes, we're doing some glazes, and that's pretty much it. So what I want to do here first is throw down some glazes, nice and easy, all over the nails here, which are dry, just to kind of shade them back and pull them all together, and you know, kind of pull up into the cracks here. And this is probably the best of the utility brushes. And you can also use these synthetic brushes to precisely apply glazes over some semi-contoured or even flat areas, which you could do with the big chisel brush, which I prefer. I've used that quite a bit on a lot of airbrush material, but you can see here where I applied a little bit of glaze right there and let it dry, as opposed to this side here. It definitely stands out, and besides it being a little shiny right there, once we hit it with some dull coat, that will definitely go away. But it definitely brings a little bit more to the miniature on that side than what was existing there over there. And because these are so springy and hold so much liquid, it's kind of an obvious choice out of the brushes I have here to use. And now that we've put them through their paces, let's show you where to get them from. SlowFuseGaming.com, your one-stop shop for hobby tools and accessories. Of course, he's got a whole section right here just for brushes themselves. So here's the new Bomb Wicks, which we're using today. I am super happy with you. Like I said, they are a synthetic Walensky sable that behaves like sable, but man, I tell you what, I was super impressed with them, just using them there and using them yesterday. Really, it just feels like you're using a $15 brush, and they're way less than that because the set's like $32.99 plus shipping. So, you know, $5-6, pretty incredible. Gonna give you the lowdown on everything it comes with right there. Oh, I forgot he got this glass paint. You scoop up some of those. Oh my goodness. Okay, so then you've got your brush cleaner, which we showed you how all that works. The Bomb Wick Sable brush set as well, which we didn't get these. These are the previous version. I would think most people are waiting on the long wicks right now, which we showed you. I am thoroughly impressed with those. The Bomb Wicks themselves for $22.99. Those are the blue handle utility brushes that I use for all my washing, all my glazes. Like, here's all the breakdown of all that. Incredible brushes. So in conclusion, I feel like no matter what brush you use or what brand you like, there's a Bomb Wick offering of some kind for you. I know when I go to replace finally this Artificer layer, I actually have two of these and these Winsor Newton brushes here, I'm definitely going to replace them with one of the brushes I already have from Slow Fuse Gaming. I just, for the price and the usability, the ease of use, supporting somebody in the hobby, I really just can't say enough good things about it. But again, everybody has their own brand, and if you're in the market for new brushes, definitely check him out. He's got all sorts of hobby goodies over there on his website, and he's literally selling you something that prolongs the life of the other product he's selling you. It doesn't seem like good retail 101 right there, but believe it or not, this will not only extend the life of the brushes you have currently, but any brushes you purchase here in. So I can't say enough good things about Slow Fuse. We've reviewed a lot of his products in the past, and I'm still using them today. And just looking around left to right, I see him everywhere up in here. So make sure you check him out. And if you like these type of review videos here on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you can be the very first. Like and comment.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.